make great illusions without being on fire, and that's awesome. Play in the forest, play in the beach, body whatever you want, whether it's branches or waves, and really just find whatever flow kind of organically comes from that. Now, first what we kind of played with is we played with same time, same direction stuff. And the first thing we did was reels, which is you take two buugeng to the side, and you're going to take the curves and put them over your shoulders. And then as you're turning, you're going to follow the other curves across and down, just like that. And now we're going to do a waist reel. Waist? Oh, waist lock. Oh, that's next, right?
Yeah.
So here we go this way, and the one that's in front now comes to the back, and now you're back in the same spot. So over the shoulders, across, the one in front comes to the back, and now you got it. And then Bliss, you want to show your
Sure, and then from this
cool
move,
variant?
either from a simple hip reel or from the full shoulder to hip reel, we can lock it around our body and then use that to create a nice movement through the body, like a barrel roll, and then escape back out. We can also pick the shape here and using movement from the body.
The eye shape. Around the body or off the eye shape. And then after that we learned archer weaves, which really goes with these reels, right? Because these reels you're just playing with your hips and your shoulders. So now we're going to also, if you look at like Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, right? We got these quadrants. We have one under here, one under here, one above here, one above here. You have the one around your head, and then the one down here. And there's actually more than that, but just for now, what we're doing is we're playing with those quadrants. So we play with the one that's low, and now we play with the one that's here, and then above, and then over the head, and then above, and then under, and back. So the breakdown of how to get to the point where you're playing with that is you want to get these reels, which is basically just learning how to play with these two quadrants. So one curve, the curve in front comes to the back and makes the curve under, and then it makes the curve over, and then it goes around, under, over, around, under, over, around. And you could really accentuate that by when you pull this one in front, lining them up like that. And once again, there's that speed change. One of the other things we talked about is how a speed change can really accentuate a movement. So that's the backwards version, and the forwards version looks like this. Over, and just make sure that very next curve with the pinkies leading goes under, right? And so over, under, over, under. And then you can also just play with them side by side. So we played with this side by side, and we just played with where we can move this around our body. You can even start getting in wall playing and start playing with different finger spinning type shapes and stuff like that. And a couple of us started playing with Kazagaruma, or the pinwheel, which is the same exact move as this, except the buugeng are split as far as timing goes, so that they make the pinwheel shape. So you just try the same thing, except different timing, and you eventually bring them closer and closer together until you can start to move that shape. You can also move that shape around to all the different quadrants. Is, I think you should thread the needle.
Thread the needle. So, for thread the needle, the wave point is facing inward. We're going to bring our right hand on top, and and then we're going to do simultaneous palm spins, and the left hand then comes on top, and the right hand is forward. We start to move forward, but then when they get caught, we do another spin. Doing them one at a time is one. Sorry, I already did that. So here, one. Same time. And then this leads nicely into the opposite direction archer weave, or the split direction butterfly weave over the arm. And then you can use that as a transition to go to the other side, which is really fun and kind of pulls from some double stop variations.
Awesome. And all the thread the needle you can also do with finger spinning as well. So then after that we started learning about tracing the curves. So because one curve is pointing this way and one is pointing this way, you have to go through this kind of funky thing to trace the curves. We follow this curve, and now we've run out of curve, right? And we reach this point where this straight part of the Buugeng is lined up with this straight part of the Buugeng. That's when we slide it across. And here, we follow this curve, pushing our pinkies down. Now this is the tricky part. As we're following this curve, whichever hand is in the back, in this case my right hand is in the back, is going to slide in front of the other hand. That way your arms don't get tangled up. And as you do that, you can go over and open back up, and you're in the same position. So one more time is like this. You follow this curve, shoot across, follow this curve, this hand crosses in front, and over. And eventually you can use this move to transition into a lot of other body tracing type stuff. After that, we touched on some of the basics, just kind of talking about how if you change it a little bit, the subtlety of the movement changes the aesthetic a whole lot. So you have these, right, where we're following the lines up the middle, or we can cross them a little bit, like Bliss is doing over there, and that changes the aesthetic. Or we can cross them a lot, and that changes the aesthetic. And with that one, we learned that if you wait till the second one, where the pinky is opening up, then that's where you can trace it around your head and trace it back. So this one is called Danazen, and if you reverse it and start with the pinkies up and go down, this one is called Monzen. And with both of those, you can change how it looks.
Do you want to do them together, the first one like that?
Yeah, sure. So together, this is a partner version. She is going to do Monzen, and I'm going to do Danazen. And like so. Ta-da!
And then the scissoring. So
oh, scissoring, right?
For the horizontal infinity, opening up the hand so that we're grabbing on with mostly the first finger and the thumb. And then as they pass, we grab on to the next one. You can do this around any part of the body, like the head, grabbing on from here, opening up the palm, face tap, grabbing here. We can do this around our friends. You can grab around my waist, I'll grab around your head. Objects like that. And then don't forget that Buugeng are not just cool when they're open. Buugeng are super cool when they are in this shape, or you can split them. And especially with more than 2 Buugeng, like 4 Buugeng. all kinds of fun patterns. So find a friend or tell a friend that they should really be into Buugeng.
Because they probably should anyway.
They will have fun with it. And then you can play with these movements, which are really beautiful as well. And they have a whole different aesthetic that you can play with. And then you can have the fun of surprising your audience that they have another dynamic of being open as well. So it kind of builds in performance art too.
Oh, yeah, didn't you do one with the rotation too? Like you rotated it?
Oh yeah. So from here, another cool static shape is we're going to bring from the horizontal infinity, bring the thumb points so that they're in front and lock against each other, and then force the forearms against that to really hold it in place. Bring it in the back of the body, and then you can do barrel spins, and we can also do fountains. Fountains here. And one other thing that I think is really cool but we didn't go over is like also inside planes coming underneath. Another fun Buugeng jump.
There's lots of Buugeng.
And these
We did pass the energy.
we did pass the energy.
Partner-wise.
These ones in the